Sup, y'all? I am your host, Tayler Onion. This is Hang Time, where we focus on amplifying the voices and stories of women in sports. We are back this week with Jess Bogia, who has recently been named the head coach of the Jacksonville Waves as a part of the new Upshot League, which is a brand new women's professional basketball league. I'm excited to talk about that. I'm excited to talk to you, Jess. Welcome. Let's get some hang time.
Awesome. Thanks. So excited to be a part of it.
Yeah, I'm pumped to have you. Like I said, we've known each other. We go back to our time in Memphis, which has been 10 years, 10-ish, 10 years ago.
Probably plus.
It's been a minute. So let's start maybe not in Memphis, but with your kind of career, your journey into basketball and coaching and all the things you've been doing.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of crazy when you say my journey. Are we talking my coaching journey, how I got into basketball? Which are you?
Yeah, I think all the
All
above.
of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. I never saw coaching as a career path. It wasn't what I went to school for. I never envisioned it. I played, when I was younger in high school and then college, and had some injuries in college. And I tell everybody it's kind of funny. When I was 12 years old, I was playing for the Philadelphia Bells, which at the time was one of the elite AAU teams across the country. Produced people like Dawn Staley and Michelle Marciniak and some other greats. And I got, like, my coach at the time, he told me, oh, you're going to make a better coach one day than you ever make player. Well, that's not something any 12-year-old kid wants to hear.
Right.
So I went home, cried to my mom, and like, he thinks I suck and all that. And she was like, no, it was a compliment. Just maybe not how you wanted to hear it as a 12-year-old. But then my junior year in college, when, the playing career was kind of over, I gave him a call and I was like, hey, remember when you said that to me? He's like, yeah, I've been waiting on this call. And I was like, so what does that mean? What does that look like? And I was fortunate he was running the Nike All-American camps across the country at the time. And so I started running them for him. And I was out in Vegas and Chicago and Illinois and all these different, Texas places. And I got to shake a lot of hands, kiss a lot of babies, meet a lot of people in that world. And I still didn't know what it looked like or what it meant. And then once I graduated, my first opportunity was actually at American University with the future Memphis head coach that I ended up working for a long time, Melissa McFerrin. And but they didn't have my master's that I wanted to do. And so I ended up saying no, wanted to finish up my master's because I knew if I didn't get it then, I wasn't going to go back. And so I started working at a small Division II school in Delaware. And, fast forward that, got a head job at 23 as a D3 school, at a D3 school. And then Melissa came knocking, about 8 years into my journey. And she had just been named the head coach down at Memphis. And, I was fortunate to go there for 9 years with her and build my, resume. And she had, used to coach in the WNBA. She had kind of been all over. And it just kind of sparked a passion throughout. I was at Buffalo working with another former WNBA head coach and Linda Hill McDonald. And, I've just been really blessed to work alongside of some great mentors and people. And then this opportunity again, just like I didn't see coaching coming. I never saw going into the professional ranks as something. I was just kind of very content, if you will, in the collegiate path. And 20 years in, this opportunity knocked, and it's one I'm really excited about.
So for listeners who have not heard yet, I mentioned Upshot League. I'm excited to talk about that. Can you tell us, maybe let's start by just sharing what the league is and how it came to be?
Yeah, so I think the best way we describe it is it's an opportunity league. Donna Orender, who was our founder, was the former WNBA commissioner. She was the president of the PGA Tour when Tiger Woods was coming up. She has a long list, as well as being an accomplished basketball player herself. She saw an opportunity, had the business model. It was the right time, the right place, and the right opportunity. And she has been working on this for years, along with Zoyer Sports, who is our ownership group. They also own other teams across the country. And they partnered up and they thought that, like I said, it was the right time, it was the right place, it was the right opportunity. We speak a lot. There's a stat out there that people speak to that over the last 3 years, there has been 120 people drafted to the WNBA.
Wow.
Of those 120, 20 people have made a roster. So what that says is not, it says there's not enough opportunity out there. And we hope to provide those spaces to continue to grow the game. The women's basketball and women's sports in general is on an exponential drive right now. And we hope to be a part of that. And we hope now that, if you look over internationally, there's all different tiers and leagues and everything and opportunities for people to continue playing past college. Here in the States, there's not. And now this is a chance for them to play in front of their families, to, make a good, career path and to have an opportunity to up their shot. And that's the whole thing for coaches, for players, for fans. We're here to up their shot. We're going to be in the community a lot. We're going to be out expanding. But yeah, we are a league of opportunity.
I like it. You mentioned, so of the 120 we said, and down to only 20 getting an opportunity, we've now seen Unrivaled launched last year, which is the 3v3 league. The valuation of that has skyrocketed in the last year. The WNBA valuations have skyrocketed. I mean, they just have been talking about, fresh off the Aces championship. The guy who owns them bought them for what, $2 million a few years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, and now it's worth
Crazy.
200 or 300 million or whatever it is.
Yep.
How does Upshot League, I guess, fit into, or what's your perception on how it fits into the landscape of women's professional basketball in the States, knowing that there are, the W is growing, Unrivaled has launched as well. How does it fit into the full landscape?
Yeah, we're not here to compete. We're here again to build their market, their player. Like, we're nothing but positive and to support them. Do we have relationships with them? Yes. Are key people supportive of us? Yes. But we're not in direct competition. As you said, Unrivaled is a 3-on-3 league. We're not. We're a 5-on-5. We just spoke of the 120 with 20 people. I mean, if that doesn't speak to the landscape out there and the amount of talent that is out there that needs a home, that's what this is about. And we're going to provide those opportunities. But we're not in competition with any other leagues. Are they aware of us? Yes. Are we supportive of them? Yes. Are they supportive of us? Yes. And I think it's just going to help enhance the overall experience in the U.S. for women's basketball.
It's so interesting because when we think about kind of the growth of men's sports and men's leagues, right? Like for football specifically, you obviously have college football, which is kind of the minor league, the farm teams, if you will. Yeah. You've got the CFL, you have now the XFL, all of these kind of different things. And we don't often hear the conversation around men's sports being about taking opportunities from other things. Can you share? I think that's a lot of the narrative that we hear in women's sports is you're taking an opportunity from something else, or you're directly competing against yourself. You touched on some of this a little bit, but I guess maybe let's start with what's your take on that?
I mean, I think when you talk to men's sports, they've been around, especially when we're talking basketball, right? They've been around a lot longer than we have. We are a growing entity that, again, like you just spoke of, is growing at an exponential rate right now. We're not here taking opportunities or competing or anything like that. We're just here to provide more opportunities. And I think that's what this is about. And that's what this league is about. It's a chance that coaches, players can be developed, can be seen, and they can play here in the U.S. And that's where we're at in the landscape of women's basketball. And I think even in the landscape of women's sports, as you're seeing with volleyball, as you know, right? As you're seeing with soccer, with all these other leagues and opportunities, we're not taking from somebody else. We're just providing more because the fans want it. The market is there. The talent is there. So when you talk about women's sports as a whole, again, I don't think anybody is taking or competing with each other. I think all we're doing is providing more opportunity. And if you've got the right business structure, which I think we have, and you've got the fan base and you've got the right market and all those things, and it's the right time, I think now is the right time. And you're seeing it because you invest in women's sports, the fans are going to come. And unfortunately, that's what people didn't do years ago. There wasn't enough investment. But now, as the investment has grown, as the visibility has grown, TV, all these marketplaces, the fans are coming in droves and the revenue is going up. And, that's what happened with men's sports. It just happened 50 years ago.
Right.
We're just, behind. But I think right now it's an exciting time across all of women's landscape of women's sports.
So the Waves are part of one of 4 teams that I see?
We're one of 4.
Announced?
Yep.
Okay. So Jacksonville, Charlotte, I saw Greensboro, and I know there's one that I'm missing.
Savannah,
yep. Yes. Okay. So the 4 teams that are a part of this Upshot League that's starting. So the opportunity with the Waves and with Upshot specifically, I know you touched on a little bit of this as we were kind of talking through things, but walk me through, because you've been in the college space, for such a long time, and obviously this is an opportunity you can't pass up. But walk us through, why Jacksonville, why the Waves, and kind of how did all of this come together?
Yeah. I used to coach at Jacksonville University. I have a lot of family and friends down here. I was there a couple of years ago. So I had some ties, and it was kind of crazy. Somebody reached out and said, "Hey, do you know of this new league that's coming up?" This was in its, infancy. And I was like, "No, send me some information." They sent it. I saw who was behind it, talking Donna Orender, and then some of the other investors, Cheryl Miller and some others. And I was like, okay, that's cool. But again, I handed my resume along, didn't really think much of it at the moment. But then because they hadn't hired, there really wasn't anything out there yet. So then Taj McWilliams Franklin gave me a call, and she had just been hired as the president of operations. And she is for those of y'all that don't know her, she's one of the greatest female basketball players of all time. She's in the Hall of Fame. She's an 8-time WNBA All-Star. She's coached collegiately. She's coached the Dallas Wings. She's coached at every level. She's worked in the front office of the NBA, of the WNBA. And she gave me a call, and she was like, "Hey, we hit it off." And she's amazing. Like, even for what her resume speaks, just getting to know her was even better. So that first call was awesome and really, sparked my interest. And I, was excited to learn more and hear more. And then they flew me down, and I got to meet Donna Orender. Everybody jokes that since I've been down here, that you can't say no to Donna. And I didn't really know what that meant until you meet her in person. And it is the truth. I mean, she is just a mix of a wealth of passion and knowledge, and just an unbelievable, inspirational person. And we talked, and I was able to see her vision of what this looks like and what this opportunity could mean. And I knew almost immediately that if I was then given the opportunity to become the head coach, I was saying yes. And fortunate for me, about 24 hours later, they gave me a call, and it was a no-brainer. It was just an unbelievable opportunity to be, to be a part of the founding 4 and to work with these people that have been there, done that, know what this looks like. And like I said, I'm just super excited and, humbled to be chosen as the head coach of the Jacksonville Waves.
What excites you most about being a part of a brand new league?
I think every day is exciting because it's new. I don't know what this all looks like. Every day is something different. The opportunity to work with these amazing individuals daily and to learn from them right now, since we're kind of in our, off season, if you will, is awesome. But then the thought of building a roster and what this looks like, that's really exciting. But seeing all that goes behind the scenes right now, Jacksonville is also the headquarters of the league office. So I kind of get to see all the work that they're doing to really make an incredible product And yeah, I'm just excited to be a part of it. And like I said, every day is a blessing.
Can you walk through or share maybe a little bit about the differences? So you've spent your pretty much your entire career
Hmm.
coaching in the college space. Most
Yep.
times when you're getting into a college coaching role, there's already established university traditions, athletic traditions. Sometimes even if you're joining a staff, there's team culture and things like that that have already, kind of been set up and created. So walk us through your approach to culture building, not only as a head coach, but as the head coach of a brand new team and a brand new league.
Yeah, I mean, I think, you hit it. Like everything's kind of established when you're coming in, unless you're coming in as a brand new program. You're coming in and you're finding, you're kind of the chameleon. You're fitting your role to whatever is needed to help excel that program. Here, I am doing that to an extent, but within the league. And, the league and the leadership already has a culture that's built, and that is that we are community driven. We want the fans to come out and have an amazing experience, and we're going to put a great product on the court. But we're more than just that. We're here to uplift the community and do whatever we can to enhance it. And that comes from Donna and Taj at the top. But then, as it stems into building my roster and my culture is going to continue to that's going to be the ground and the base. But then I'm going to, be able to expand to some of my, um, as I'm building a staff and a roster that have a lot of those same visions, but also I get the competitive fire that is exciting. That's the piece that I'm excited to enhance. That's not just, that's my, that's me a little bit. That culture, that's that winning brand, and that just excitement and passion uh, of people that want to be here, that want to play for Jacksonville, that want to represent this community, and that want to represent the Waves.
Yeah, I'm smiling because as soon as you said that competitive fire, I'm like, yeah, that's Jess. That checks out.
Exactly,
I love
exactly.
it.
I'm like, I do need some dogs, so
Yeah.
dogs out there, let's go.
Yep. Yep.
but
I love it.
but we'll get it. But yeah, I think the culture is set from the top, and we're just here to enhance it, and I'm really excited to do that.
When you think about the identity of your team specifically, how do you, I mean, you just mentioned you got to get some dogs, right? Like, what do you want the
Uh-huh.
identity on court to be? Off court, you've talked a lot about community focus. So maybe what does it look
Hmm.
like, in the gym as far as the Waves identity?
Yeah, yeah. Like I said, off court, we're going to be in the community a lot. We're going to be doing clinics. We're going to be doing charity work. All those things that we can do to help enhance. But on the court, the game's evolving. I want positionless basketball. I want to play with pace and space, and I want relentless competitors. I think if there's one word that can really describe me as a coach, but also it's going to be our identity, it's going to be that relentless competitor. And that's what I'm excited to find out there, and just continue to find the positionless basketball and expand upon it, and how much this game is evolving um, as a whole.
Can I ask? This is a hot button, hot topic right
Uh
now. The
oh. Okay.
officiating in women's basketball has been a constant headline when it comes
It
to
has.
women's sports right now. I have my own opinions. I didn't play in college. I played all through high school, all growing up. If you asked
Right.
me in fifth grade, my dream job was to play in the WNBA, which did not pan out. I played volleyball instead, of course, but um, I have my own ideas about kind of the integrity of the game and different things like that. But can you share, I guess, what you're able to, knowing the position that you're in, your thoughts on just officiating in general, and when you're talking about this kind of evolution in positionless basketball, creating space and all of these things, what does that mean in terms of the officiating that we're seeing right now?
Yeah. I mean, like you said, I'm not here to get into the games that we've seen or anything like that,
I'm not
but I
looking for
can
a
say
Cheryl
the
Reeve
right. But I can.
reaction.
Yeah, I can say that it starts from the bottom, right? We've got to make sure we're training these officials, and that we're giving them the appropriate training and then opportunities, not just throwing them out there.
Mm,
And I think there's more people that we need more refs.
Yeah.
We need more refs. We need people that are trained appropriately, that know the game inside and out. Um, and, that's kind of where it's at in that regards. I think when you have a lot of players that come and play professionally in the States, they come from overseas where the game is so much more physical,
Mm.
uh, too. So when you come over here, some of that they want, and then some of that they're not allowed because of the different rules. And I think we just need to make sure they're aligned and we're streamlined with the rules across, across the leagues. And I think that would help eliminate a lot of the stuff. But I think too often you see there's a lot between college and professional. There's a big jump in the physicality, the talent, all those things. And I think sometimes the officials, they go back and forth. They do college, they do pros, they do Division two, they do all different levels. And I think there just needs to be more consistency. And that's it. So training and consistency, I think, would alleviate a lot of the chit chat that
Yeah.
goes
I mean,
on.
some of that too. I mean, just as you're talking about that, I'm thinking about, how does if there are 120, women who are drafted, we get down to 20. This also goes into officiating, right? Like there's not that many opportunities right
Yeah,
now, or there haven't historically been, to have those live training, opportunities. And most do, to your point, they're jumping from college or high school and D2 to D1 or up to the pros or whatever.
hmm
And so I have to think that expansion is also a good thing, and new leagues are also a good thing for the integrity of the game across the board, because it provides more opportunities, again, not just for those players,
absolutely.
but for officials, coaches, and administrators, and all the above.
100%. I'm with you.
All right, let's talk. I'll take you off the hot seat, and I'll ask if you can share yet any kind of behind the scenes information. So from recruiting, how are you building a roster? Do we have competition dates yet for the Upshot League?
hmm
What can you share so far?
I can let you know that we are actively recruiting, building depth charts, building war boards, seeing who's out there, who's available. I'll be out to a lot of college games and events throughout this year, to continue scouting and recruiting. The season tips off May 15th. Tickets are on sale now. So we are actually running a $44 special, which is symbolic, for the 44 new player spots that the Upshot will be providing.
Awesome.
So all the fans out there, go on upshotleague.com, get a season ticket today. That won't last long, but yeah, that's kind of where we're at. There's still a lot of things going on, behind the scenes to make it, the final schedule, all that. But yeah, May 15th, we'll tip off. We'll have training camp probably 2 weeks before that, and be ready to rock and roll.
Okay, I want to go back to this. $44 for season tickets is absolutely bananas. How many
Uh-huh.
games? I mean, do we have a guesstimate of how many games will be in the season?
It'll be around 30 plus. It's still in the works. 34,
Okay.
somewhere around there. But it's still getting finalized. So, but yes, it is promotional right now for this month, just to really to mark the 44 new opportunities, that we're going to be providing.
That is, I got myself in trouble the last episode 2 weeks ago by doing fast math, and at the risk of messing that up
Mhm.
again. So $44, I'm thinking, if there's 9 games, that's $5 a game. If you're talking about 30
Yeah,
plus, we're looking at
yeah,
like $1, $2, $3
yeah,
per game, somewhere in that realm. So this
yeah.
is, again, don't quote me on the
It's
math,
a
but this is a bananas deal.
It's a special. Yes,
Yeah.
it is a special, but it is, again, the people that are backing us and our founder, Donna, and all that, it is about the opportunity right now. And yeah, reserve your seat.
How does it feel to be a part of something bigger? We've talked a little bit about visibility. How does it feel to you to be about something, bigger for women's sports, something that feels really foundational and also like new and novel, right, at the same time?
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy. It's powerful. Like you feel the energy, you feel the momentum of everything that's happening with women's sports right now. The attention that we're getting, the respect that's being earned, to be a part of it, to be a part of the wave, right, of momentum that's going on out there,
Nice.
and helping to create a league and a culture that's going to demand the same respect and that's going to allow the opportunity and for players to thrive professionally. It's more than a job. It's fun. It's a purpose. And I'm super blessed to be a part of it. And I take a lot of pride in knowing that and that we're building something special that's going to last, long beyond me. Yeah. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah. So we've talked a little bit about this phase of kind of unprecedented growth, which I debate whether unprecedented is the right word, or is it just that it's not been visible, like it's been stagnant because it's been kind of put on the back burner for years, right? So yes, it's unprecedented, but like, should it have taken this long for women's sports to really hit their mark? We could get into that, at another day. But what do you think for the growth that's happening right now, which is just really booming for women's sports, for women's basketball especially? What do you think is the biggest thing that needs to happen for this to be sustainable long term?
We touched on it a little bit earlier, but we need to just keep betting on women's sports. The talent is there, the competitiveness, all the things that fans want to see. We have it in our games across all sports. We're world class in that regards. But we need the equal belief, and that comes from investment, more TV spots, better pay. We need the resources that match the value that we're putting on the court and on the fields. And once the business side, kind of catches up with the product, I think the ceiling disappears and the sky becomes the limit. But until that happens, I think we're still hitting that little stagnant spot.
Okay, namesake of the show. If you could get some hang time with any woman in sports, who would it be and why?
Well, I got two.
Okay.
So you have to, yeah. Okay. One is Serena Williams. She's the GOAT in my mind. Like I over all athletes, she is the greatest athlete of all time. I just think what she did on the court is unmatched. She transcended tennis and transcended women's sports and redefined it. But now in her next role in retirement, what she's doing with her husband and the way she's elevating women's sports, what they did last week, shutting down Times Square for a women's only track meet. I mean, it was incredible. She owns part of a basketball team. She owns part of a soccer club. I just think she is just somebody. So someone get this to her. Serena, we're looking for some investment in Upshot over here, baby.
There we go. There we go.
But then on the basketball side, it'd be Becky Hammon. I've been really blessed to meet a lot of coaches in this business, but she is one I've never met, and I would love to just sit down, pick her brain, swap stories. I just admire what she's done and the way she relates to the players, and the way she's able to pull and maximize their talent, both on and off the court. I just think it's incredible. And, shout out to her again for another dub the other day, another championship. So
3 in the last 4 years.
It's crazy, her dynasty that she's building. But I don't think people give her enough credit for the unbelievable coach that she is, and just the way that she maximizes players' talent. So those would be my two.
I love it. All right, where can listeners get involved, support, follow you or the team? You mentioned the season tickets, but what are some other places?
Yeah, upshotleague.com. Go on, check it out. All social medias, we've got the Jacksonville Waves, Savannah Steel, the Greensboro Groove, and the Charlotte Crown. Check us out across those. Check us out. But we're excited. Super excited.
I'm excited for you. I also, before I officially sign us off here, I have to give a shout out. So our mutual friend, Dr. Pfeiffer, Dr. Megan Pfeiffer, she texted me and was like, listen, Jess is going to be announced as this coach. You got to get her on the pod. I'm like, all right, great. I love it.
Big shout out. Big
Yeah.
love, Meg.
That's right. That's right. A forever supporter. Well, Jess, Coach Jess, thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule. I know you're at it recruiting and trying to build this thing right now. So I appreciate you taking the time.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Much appreciation. Hang time.
You bet. You bet. All right, listeners, we will see you back in a couple of weeks. Until then, you can follow us pretty much wherever you get your podcasts and wherever you tune into your social media. Until then, we'll see you next time.